All right. Let's see about getting this whole thing going. Come on. There we go. That's what I'm after. All right. Yes. Yes. Cool. Am I coming through all right? That's question number one. Oh, good. Looks like it. Hey, from Scotland. Ah, welcome. It's about midnight where you are, so hope you don't have work in the morning. Yeah, I'm... You guys are honestly really lucky that I'm not just in pajamas right now. I managed to catch a stomach bug, or I either caught a stomach bug or the Chinese food I had last night was not good. I don't know which was the case, but had a rough morning, definitely. Not 100% yet, but definitely better than I was. So I didn't want to miss you, folks. Let's see. Oh, the Hufflepuff from Marino. Little out of focus. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I can do about that with the... Because I'm still doing this off the phone. Yeah, I'm not going to be at my sharpest today, folks. I hope you're okay with that. Appreciate the shirt. Oh, yeah, I love this shirt. My mother got me this shirt for Christmas. Oh, geez. Sorry, Meg. Sounds like you had it rough, too. Oh, it's 11 p.m. in Ireland. I forget that the UK is big enough to have more than one time zone. Okay, so I do have a few things. This is not going to be as organized as I sometimes am, but I do have a few things to bring up, touch on. Love your channel. I've been a fan for a year-ish now. Worth staying up. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm not planning to push myself, and if I feel like I got to duck out early, I'm prepared to do that. I think I'll be okay though. So I suppose the big thing that's worth talking about, full trailer for Aladdin came out. And it was really frustrating for me because watching that trailer, I saw glimpses of the movie I actually would have gone to see, which would have been a straightforward, non-musical, appropriately cast version of this story. I honestly would have been completely on board for that, but the fact that they're recycling the songs means it falls into the same category as the vast majority of the other Disney live action or photorealistic, in the case of The Lion King, reboot things, which is it's just recycling. It's not going back to the story and doing a new take, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with them going back to the source material. There's a ton of ways to do those stories, but the fact that these are so blatantly just treading on the nostalgia just ticks me off. I will say it's good that Will Smith is not going to be blue the entire thing. He looked way better when he wasn't colored blue. Other than that, I'm still really underwhelmed by the Jafar that they've got. He doesn't have a lot of presence to him, which I guess they're going for the more sort of realistic scheming vizier, but that's way less interesting as far as I'm concerned. And there's the bit of Aladdin fleeing from the guards, and I'm watching that thinking, that looks like a movie I'd actually like to see, as he's like parkouring his way through the streets to get away from these guys. I'm like these is glimpses of, if that was the movie, I'd actually not only not have a problem with it, I might even go see it. But, then they started singing Friend Like Me, including some of the very specific imagery from the animated version, which immediately made me just the entire premise of the thing. Snoop Dogg should have been the evil guy from Aladdin. That would have been interesting. I'll give you that. Genie looked better. Yeah, even when he was blue, he did look better than he did on that first reveal look of him. But I still think he looked better when he wasn't blue. Like, substantially better. And like the little bits of rapport that we get between Genie and Aladdin, I liked that. So like the stuff that did not immediately make me go, I know exactly what that shot's lifted from. There's that song. The parts that did not go out of their way to remind me about the animated version, I was kind of like, oh. But have you seen the Doctor Who documentary, A Journey in Space and Time? I've seen An Adventure in Space and Time, which was sort of the docudrama. I don't think I've seen a straight documentary on it. You have the same screwdrivers. I've got all the screwdrivers, so far as I'm aware. At least without getting into like custom stuff off Etsy for way too much money. Let's see. It looks like. The only reason I might consider watching The Lion King is for John Oliver. He looks like a British parrot. Yeah, I mean, casting will solve for that. There's no way. Like that one more than any other. And like these have all ticked me off, but that one honestly more than any other really ticks me off because it's still animation. So what? Okay, I need to not get that worked up. Is anyone else finding it weird that there's a left side to the studio? Studio, boy! How cool would it be if this room could qualify as a studio? It's water, I'm hydrating. Ah. Water in quotes. Believe whatever you're gonna believe. What else went on? Oh, if anyone didn't see it already, Kevin Smith put out a really sweet video talking about Stan Lee's cameo in Captain Marvel. And if you've seen Captain Marvel already, definitely check it out. If you don't think you're gonna see Captain Marvel, it's a story worth seeing him tell. And you know, if you don't mind minor spoilers, because that cameo happens not too far into the thing. Thank you, Connor. There's this OVA from 1987 called Robot Carnival. It's so phenomenal that I can call it my favorite anime of all time. Have you ever heard of it? No. Actually, like, the thing with anime, I don't watch a ton of anime, but I've heard of a fair amount. That one I have not heard of. So, that one's new to me. Oh, it's just in your vids, the studio seems to end with the shelves. I mean, like, that's the idea. I frame it a normal shot to cut off at the shelves so that, you know, you can imagine it just keeps going, but, you know, there's a wall right there, and that doesn't go that much farther. If you went to Comic-Con, what Doctor would you dress up as? Well, like, as of right now, it would probably be 13 because that's the most complete cosplay outfit I have. I have kind of a makeshift 11. So, like, just by default, I'd probably go 13 because I've got basically that complete outfit. Whereas other ones, I just kind of have bits and pieces and don't have the full look going on. Love your Doctor Who reviews. Thank you very much. Oh, actually, okay, since Comic-Con's got mentioned, I haven't, like, booked my ticket to this yet, so it's not absolutely 100%, but I'm pretty sure I figured out which con I'm going to this year, since Vermont Comic Con isn't happening, and thanks to Patreon support, I can actually afford to travel for one con. I can't afford to go to more than one this year. But I'm probably going to end up going to Terrificon in Connecticut. Is the one that lined up the best with my schedule, and looked pretty decent from what I could see. It was between that and Heroes Con, but then things with my schedule kind of made Heroes Con a little bit like, I'm not so sure that's going to work. So that's most likely what it's going to be, and that is in August. I do not remember the exact dates off the top of my head, but that's probably going to be the one I go to. By the way, good hair. Thank you. I'm so overdue to get this recolored, but I don't have the time. I would love to see Schalke Doctor cosplay. I mean, that would be cool just as a deep cut. Like, to see how many people even, like, figure out what it is you're doing. I think, like, that's the kind of cosplay that, like, that'd be good to take to something like Gallifrey 1. I'm not sure that, like, a normal Comic-Con... I mean, just speaking personally, I know I'd get bummed out if I went the whole con and nobody knew what I was doing. What are the odds that I'm also sick at home? I'm not sure statistically, but I hope you recover soon. I'll see how I am in the morning. I should be back at work. What do you think of Scream of the Schalke? I need to watch it again. I haven't watched that in... Wow. Geez, maybe 15 years? It's definitely been more than that. It's been a long time since I've seen that. So I really do need to just watch it again, front to back. If you hadn't heard of it, I cannot recommend it enough. It's one of my favorite works of animation, period. I will try to look into it. My to-do list is daunting. Speaking of which, I got a few more episodes into the Umbrella Academy. I think I've now done the first 4 episodes of that show, and I am actually quite enjoying it. Funny thing that it kind of made me realize, well, I had suspected this, but it kind of confirmed it for me, which is that I've long suspected that I would like darker, more violent, kind of swearing, a little bit, slightly twisted, being a superhero isn't that great, kind of stories, if they were told with original characters, as opposed to using existing characters who weren't built to function like that and telling those kinds of stories with them. Identity crisis. And watching Umbrella Academy kind of confirmed that for me. It's like, I'm really enjoying this, but I think it was after the second episode, I kind of paused and thought, if this was like some sort of weird version of, I don't know, the Power Pack or something, I'd probably hate it. So, it's almost like you can't just slap Dark and Gritty onto just any property and have it work. It's weird, I know. Let's see. Thank you, Meg. I would legit pay for drunk review and reaction videos. Also, any plans to... oh, dang it, I lost it. Also, any plans to re-dye the hair anytime soon? If so, what colors? Hopefully soon. I haven't scheduled it because winter in Vermont, the heating bills kind of kick your butt. So, kind of the way you have to do it is to save up across the summer so that you don't get into too bad a hole by the time you're done with winter. And so I'm in the process of trying to get out of the winter heating bill hole. Once I'm out of that, maybe I'll address the hair. I'm probably going to do the colors I did before again, maybe add an additional color into it, but knowing how long it'll probably be before I'm able to refresh it or get it redone, what I like about these colors is they have continued to look nice as they've faded. So that kind of puts them top of my list. And I have a lot of other friends who dye their hair, so I kind of have a frame of reference for what, like, green or orange or, really red, kind of looks like when it fades. And I'm looking at that going, look, it can look good, but you've got to be prepared to refresh that more frequently than I'm going to be able to do. Let's see. Show us your little stuffed puppy that's next to the Cards Against Humanity. That, my friend, that is Ein. And if you've ever seen Cowboy Bebop, you know who this little guy is. This was sent from a friend of mine, a podcasting friend by the name of Gene Hendricks. Once he found out that I was doing the podcast revisit on Cowboy Bebop. Have you ever been to a Star Wars celebration? I have not. And honestly, like, that might be too big for me. Like, I'm probably never going to go to the San Diego Comic-Con, or probably not even really the New York one. They just feel, they're just too much. Like, that, Boston was overwhelming for me at times. So, yeah, I something like Star Wars Celebration, I think it's just too much. What are the best and worst aspects of Moffat's writing? They are, in fact, the same thing. He swung big, which meant that his tendency to do that meant he both hit home runs and struck out. So it's actually the exact same thing. Which side of Modern Who do you prefer, Series 1 through 5 or Series 6 through 11? It's hard to say because, like, I am in the middle of a revisit on the earlier stuff. I don't know. I don't really feel comfortable saying that. Oh, all right. That's a mean question. Hellbent or the Dexter finale? Okay, so if you were going to make me say which of those is worse, the Dexter finale is worse because that was it. The show literally could not recover after that because it was over. As much as I hate Hellbent, I also love Series 10. So Hellbent is an episode I can't stand, but like, it didn't wreck the show. The Dexter finale is so bad, I couldn't go back and watch the good seasons of Dexter. I tried rewatching season 2, which is my favorite season of Dexter, and I couldn't enjoy it because in the back of my head, there was a little voice going, none of this matters because it still ends in that completely atrocious ending. I can't enjoy that show anymore. I used to love it. So that will always be the worst. Not gonna lie, that's a nice shirt. Yeah, I do enjoy this shirt. Let's see. I was reminded of Green. Okay, that's an internal conversation. How long does it take you to edit each video on average? Depends. It's getting longer because I'm some of the stuff that I've got working that I'm doing now is a little bit more involved. Editing time is actually pretty short, though, traditionally up to this point, because, you know, when I ramble in my reviews, I'm unscripted, but I've been doing it long enough that I can hit my points and wrap it up, and I don't have to pause and collect my thoughts, and I usually don't go on divergences that don't go anywhere. So it's usually just a matter of, you know, putting on the beginning and the ending and cutting out me turning the camera on and then turning the camera off. That's usually about it. And even with the scripted stuff, actually, it's weird. I am much better reading the text going on a teleprompter than like having a page in front of me, which is kind of weird. But I actually can do a single take on even a scripted video. Which is weird. I hadn't expected that to be the case. Dexter finale or Lost finale? I didn't watch more than the first season of Lost, so I couldn't tell you. Can you review the Alien movies? See, that just feels like a chore because I refuse to see that last one, and there's really only 2 of them that are good, and then one that's almost good, and then one that fails in kind of a fascinating way, and then it's just pain after that. I kind of miss being able to nag you about Passion of the Nerd. Not only have I subscribed to that channel, but I've caught up on all of his videos, or at least all the Buffy ones, which is the main thing that he does. That was a preemptive ha. Dang. What are your thoughts on Awesome Mix Volume 1 and 2 from both Guardians of the Galaxy films? I don't know because I didn't buy them. Because most of the songs from those soundtracks that I like, I already owned. So I didn't buy them. I couldn't tell you. You're you're really cute. It's not looking too bad for having thrown up about 12 hours ago. Yeah, not too bad. Any chance of Council of Geek branded wine glasses with, quote, it's water, or, quote, I'm rehydrating? I don't know. I have expanded the merch a little bit. I didn't do an announcement on like the community feed of the YouTube channel, but if you follow me on Facebook, I did put it up there. I did a shirt of the nerd is constant, the gender is fluid. So I am trying to get additional merch things going, but because of me and technology, like trying to actually make a storefront for it, I'm finding frustrating because things never work for me the way that they're supposed to. Have you seen the American Pie film series? I have seen the first 3. I didn't see American Reunion. They're products of their time. I mean, as far as those things go, I mean, they're problematic as heck, but pretty much any teenage comedy 10 years on from when they make it is going to be problematic as heck. That's kind of the nature of the genre. So, I mean, like, they're fine. I didn't love them. Like, the first one came out and was, like, a weirdly, like, big deal, and I couldn't figure out why, especially because I'd seen Clerks, which is way dirtier. I mean, not visually, but in terms of concepts and what's talked about. So, like, I wasn't that bowled over by American Pie. Any thoughts on the Cushing Doctor? If I ever get around to seeing those, I will let you know. And I say that, and I will get around to seeing them eventually. I have no idea when. What video did you originally say F you Moffat in so I can watch it? That was my 10 worst Doctor Who episodes written by Stephen Moffat video. So find that one. That's where that clip came from. Do you watch Mr. TARDIS reviews? If so, thoughts? Intermittently. Not habitually. I haven't, like, binged his stuff, so I don't... I mean, like, I liked what I saw, but I haven't, like, gone through everything. What else did I have that, like, went on or was announced? Oh, Marvel is apparently thinking about doing a What If series for the Disney Plus streaming app, which, honestly, I'm on board with that in theory. My only concern about it is what's always nice about the Marvel What If stories, because they're like alternate takes on, you know, what if this played out differently? How would the world be different? What would happen to the heroes? 9 times out of 10, they're really depressing and sad. But sort of the fun of them is just seeing how badly things go. And I do worry on a streaming budget that they're not going to be able to go as big as I like What If stories to go. But conceptually, I'm down with that idea. I think that's a solid concept for them to build a show around. So what else did I have? Oh god, I saw. Apparently, AMC is planning an Orphan Black universe series, like a new series set in the world of Orphan Black. But Orphan Black was a show that when it worked fairly well, but like the world was actually not very interesting and was often incoherent, and the best stuff was the acting and the characters. So the idea of giving me more in that world without those characters, I could not possibly care less. For the record, I bailed on Orphan Black, I don't know, 4 episodes or so into season 4 when I realized they have no plan on making this up as they go, which I don't have an inherent problem with, but like the show had been framed as if they were planning to go somewhere, and it was really clear they didn't know what they were doing. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Good to see you. Which would you rather be killed by? You can't say I would rather not die. Dalek, Cybermen, Weeping Angels, Silence, Sontaran, Slitheen, or Vashta Nerada. My inclination would be either the Weeping Angels or the Vashta Nerada, depending on whether or not the angels are killing me with the zap me back in time, or the neck break. The neck break I'm a little more iffy on. If I don't get to pick and it could go either way, I'll take the Vashta Nerada. That seemed really quick. And the thing is, most of the other ones, Dalek, Cybermen, Silence, all the others, when people get hit with what those villains use to kill, you know, they're always going, ah! So obviously it hurts. It's not instantaneous. So I'll take the Vashta Nerada. Also because the thing about the Vashta Nerada is, not only would it be quick, I probably wouldn't even see it coming. So I wouldn't even have the fear issue going on. Hugh Jackman is to play Harold Hill in the new Broadway production of The Music Man. I don't remember The Music Man very well. I've seen it as a play once before. I mean, like, he's good for the Song and Dance stuff. He'll be good in it. Wonder Woman was the best DC movie. Do you agree or disagree? I'm assuming you're limiting that to the current DC cinematic universe as opposed to any DC movie, which would obviously bring in things like The Dark Knight and the '89 Batman and the original Superman movie. So I'm assuming you're not counting any of those and just doing the continuity that started with The Man of Steel. And within those parameters, yes, I do think Wonder Woman's probably the best one. Aquaman was pretty good. Both have their issues. Wonder Woman's third act is not great, and Aquaman is honestly kind of all over the place, but it is really fun as it does that. So they're not massively far apart, is what I would say. Have you watched Penny Dreadful? I did the first episode of Penny Dreadful, and it was okay. For some reason, it didn't hook me enough to come back to it. Evening from the Hufflepuff in Scotland. You're early. Well, I'm early because I know I said last week that tonight was going to be a 9 p.m., but that's because I'm a moron who got my schedule all mixed up, and it's another week that's going to be thrown off with the timing, and it's not this week, so there you go. Thoughts on Mark Gatiss' Doctor Who stories? I don't like most of his stories. I mean, I think he did Robots of Sherwood, right? I think that's the one he did that I like the best. Let's see. I just saw Aquaman a couple weeks ago. Lots of fun. Yeah, it was. It was. Is the buy rep video coming in April, perhaps? Hopefully. It is my hope to get the bisexual representation video out in April. The hitch is that's one that I'm having someone else come on with me, and we haven't gotten the schedules lined up yet, and I haven't filmed it yet. So that still has to fall into place. That is my plan. That is my hope, but I'm not going to promise you that right now because it depends on how everything kind of goes in the next month or so. How did you get that 13th Doctor doll? That was sent to me, which actually... I'm going to forget if I don't do it now. So, I've mentioned at the end of most of the videos this month that it is my birthday this month. It's the 21st for the record, for those wondering. And I have started getting stuff showing up, either in the P.O. box or actually at my door if it came off the Amazon wish list. Now, I feel bad because it didn't occur to me until a bit later that I really should have been like setting aside everything that I was getting so I could share all of it and give thanks for all of it. But the problem was like a lot of it I started putting away to where it would go, and I'm not sure I remembered like gathering up everything. So if you've sent me something and I've gotten it and I don't mention it, I'm sorry, and I apologize in advance, but the stuff that I've got in front of me here that has been sent to me for birthday related stuff. Well, actually, first of all, the earrings. See if this shows up decently at all. So, little studs with the transgender symbol, which I quite enjoy. Oh, God. Movement. So, I got sent a couple of Blu-rays. Doctor Who 9th series. Now, obviously, I've seen Series 9 before, but the thing is, I am big on physical media. Like, not so big that I'm like a hoarder. I don't have a massive, massive collection, but like, if I really like something, and while I have mixed feelings about Series 9, I do want to be complete on New Era Who. I want to be sure I have it on physical medium because I don't trust digital only. I just don't. I don't like the fact that it is within the power of the rights holders to decide that I can't have it anymore and to just take it from me. Because technically when you buy digital, you are leasing. And I don't like that. Ooh, Meg, thank you again. I just want to say that I love your videos. It's a huge help for me when I feel the worst to just sit down and binge your videos. Thank you for every bit. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. What else? Okay, so I got Constantine, City of Demons, which is awesome, and I love it. This made my top 10 movies of 2018. And I haven't read this yet because I'm in a slightly weird place on it. So, Volume 2 of Rat Queens, which I do want to read, but unfortunately I now have the burden of knowledge because I found out about the domestic violence charges against the artist, Rock Upchurch. Now, when that happened, he was removed from the book, but it's either the first 2 or 3. I think it's only the first 2, but definitely this volume still has his art, which, you know, makes me feel a little... I mean, I'll still read it, but, you know, I'm really looking forward to getting through to the point that I will, you know, be reading stuff that wasn't drawn by him. I'll appreciate that. But I am still very glad to have this, because the first volume, you know, setting that issue aside, which I didn't find out about until after I read it, this volume is, this series, Rat Queens, the first volume was great. So I am looking forward to this when I am feeling up for, you know, the headspace of it. Blu-rays forever. Yeah. Yeah. I do agree with that. What kind of music do you like? Boy, I get asked that one a fair amount. I'm really all over the place. I don't know. I was raised on 70s rock, so I was raised on like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and James Taylor. At this point, like, if I were to think of who I have the most albums of, it would be people like Pink, Lindsey Sterling, Miracle of Sound. I had one that I just lost. But, you know, even there are other ones that I like a lot that maybe I only have 1 or 2, you know, albums from. You know, like Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. I love that album. I don't own other Fleetwood Mac stuff. I also have a fair amount of soundtracks, both movie and video games from my era of video games, meaning, you know, like 90s and early, mostly 90s. I'm all about hard copies of media too. Oh, good, I'm not the only one. Where do I find this Merlin miniseries? If you mean the 2-part mini, I actually don't know how hard that is to find. I remember when that aired. I actually like that pretty well. Excited to react to your Gridlock review. Well, I hope you enjoy it. That one has been shot. I need to shoot the next few. Thank you for bringing new and old Doctor Who to all audiences. I love classic Who. I have a blog, but you are an inspiration. Oh, you folks are too nice. You really are. Thoughts on Breaking Bad? Was good. I enjoyed it. It was solid. It built well. It was a good piece of work. How do I cheaply watch classic Doctor Who? BritBox. That's how I watch it. It's a subscription streaming service, but it's fairly affordable, and if you're in a country that you can actually get BritBox, then it gives you access to almost everything. Even Stick, you look good. Please do Repo full review. Much love. Repo is on my list of things to do a Why It's Awesome video about. So that is on my list. Wine or cider? It's water. The bottle is red, but it is water. I always look forward to your monthly LGBT content. Love the passion. Yeah, I'm really glad that all that has gone over well enough that you know, that I still feel comfortable doing it. I got nervous when I started doing that stuff, but it's gone really well. Okay, I do have some other stuff. Oh, the Disney Fox deal is finally going to close. God, we've been dealing with this thing forever. Actually, day before my birthday, it's supposed to close on the 20th. Okay, here's a weird one. And somebody may have to fill me in on something here. So apparently Capcom is working with Netflix on a Dragon's Dogma animated series, which one presumes is taking inspiration from the Castlevania animated series. Except that, like, did Dragon's Dogma have more than one game? I was pretty sure it was just the one. And I didn't think it made that big of a splash. So, like, that seems like an odd pick, especially coming from Capcom, because, like, if I were going to say, hey, what Capcom property would make a good animated series, my immediate thought is Devil May Cry, which is now in the public consciousness because it just had a new game come out. So, yeah, Dragon's Dogma, I don't know why. That said, I am glad that more people are going to try the streaming series version of adapting video game stuff, because at least so far it's working a heck of a lot better than the movies have been. So, yeah, we'll see. Well, somebody will see. I suspect unless a trailer really blows me away, I'll probably skip that one. I never played Dragon's Dogma. Favorite Doctor Who quote. My favorite Doctor Who quote is from a Big Finish story called The Holy Terror, and it doesn't matter to whom the cruelty is directed, the cruelty itself is wrong. I love that as a line. I love that as a sentiment. I try and keep that one in my head. That's, yeah. Devil May Cry already had an anime out, and it's great. How long ago was that, though? I feel like that was a while ago. Like, long enough that, like, statute of limitations would be up to do another crack at it. I never saw that, so I'll take your word on how good it was. Do you think it's sad we didn't get more time with Eccleston? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, the way he was playing the Doctor, in an odd way, kind of works for only one series, you know, that he is as broken by the Time War as he is, that it kind of makes sense that he kind of needed to refresh. So that, it does work for me, but, you know, the fact that he hasn't done Big Finish, hasn't come back, I would like him to. I know there's, like, weird behind-the-scenes politics that we only kind of have a partial picture of, so I don't hold my breath for it. If you don't use 30-second plus clips of one clip or more than 10 minutes total, YouTube usually won't claim you. I only got one claim, and they demonetize. Well, no, see, that's not true. It all has to do with who has the copyright on the clip you're using. That determines everything, because there are some studios, some companies that are jerks, and there's some that aren't, and it doesn't have anything to do with how long the clip is. Now, having a shorter clip makes a fair use argument easier to defend, but that is not a guarantee that you won't get a claim. Paramount has claimed my videos because of a still image up for 10 seconds. So it has to do with who the copyright holder is. Paramount are jerks. Fox, while not total jerks, they are one of the ones that I got demonetized on. Like back when I kind of experimented with doing the trailer reactions, like where you'd have the trailer down in the corner of the video. I don't do that anymore. But Fox claimed on me. Disney didn't, because I did one on Star Wars The Last Jedi. That they didn't claim me, but Paramount did. Fox is giving me some trouble. The BBC is giving me grief right now. So there is nothing that you can do that guarantees you don't get flagged. If you're using a clip, you can get flagged. Depending on who owns it, you may not. Depending on how you are using it, you may win on appeal. But, you know, jerk companies are jerk companies. Dragon's Dogma is an 8 out of 10. Isn't that like the baseline for video games? Isn't that like a C these days? I feel like a lot of the video game review, especially like the big sites, they almost like a 7 from them is like, oh God, that's not good. So I don't know how to take that. Do you know if BritBox is in Australia? I do not know. I know it's not in Britain, weirdly enough. I guess it's because they have iPlayer in Britain and they want you to use that, although I don't know if Classic Who's on that. But BritBox is not in the UK. I don't know if it's in Australia or not. I couldn't tell you. YouTube doesn't claim it's the right holds. Yeah, that was also part of my point. YouTube itself is not making claims on anything. Now, YouTube has its own bots to try and catch the most egregious stuff, like just flat out uploading a episode of something or whatever. But the ones who actually place a claim are the copyright holders, who have their own bots. Thoughts on Shazam? It looks fun. That new trailer that hit, I like that they're leaning into the fun and the light and the family friendly. I don't have a lot of investment in that character. It doesn't make me personally really excited to see the movie, but I'm glad that it exists, and I'm glad that DC is giving a crack at, you know, remembering superheroes can be for kids. So I'm really glad that it looks like it's going all in on that element. But again, it doesn't necessarily make me personally want to watch it all that much. It's one of those things that it depends on what my life is like. If I have to like move my schedule around, or it's a pain in the butt for me to try and get to the theater, that's the kind of thing I might skip. We'll see though. I have asked this so much, but I'm kind of desperate for an answer. Sorry if this sounds needy, but will you ever react to BBC's Merlin? I really enjoy it. I haven't seen any episodes of that. And that is not on my to-do list, largely because of its age. So, and that's not to say I'll never watch it, but I'm saying unless I did watch it, which again, I don't know when I'll have time, but unless I watched it and like really felt, boy, I really need to do a deep dive and analysis of this, it's unlikely that I would do a review on it, even if I saw it, just because of how old it is. Unless I really felt like I had something to say. So I hate giving an answer of don't hold your breath, but that's kind of what it would be for that. What were the 5 episodes in Series 8 you thought were meh? Oh, boy. See if I can remember now. Because like that video was scripted, so I had that written out, and like I knew it was 5 because I looked at the episode list for Series 8 off the top of my head. Let me see if I can remember. I thought Deep Breath was meh. God, I'm trying to even remember Series 8 now. This stuff doesn't stick in my head, like these kind of details all that well. Okay, you know what? This is going to bug me. Give me a second. Let me get a list. And in the meantime, what can I talk about? Come on, give me a break here. Yeah, no, I know, I did that. This darn thing isn't updating for me, which is irritating. Well, shoot. Okay. And now you get to hear me fumbling around on the computer, which is the most compelling possible way to live stream. I'm sure you're all enthralled. Episode list. Here we go. Okay, so Series 8, the ones that I thought were just kind of meh. In other words, ones that I didn't think were great, but I didn't think were actually bad. For Series 8, that was Deep Breath, Time Heist, The Caretaker, Listen, sorry, and Into the Dalek. So those were the 5 that I was just kind of meh on. At least I think those were the 5 I was thinking of. Like, again, I didn't like, other than like check my math when I scripted that, I didn't, I didn't too carefully examine that. Heaven Sent or Dalek? Heaven Sent. That would still be my preference. You're sick, sucks, man. Hope you feel better. Well, I'm better than I was. This morning was bad. This morning was very bad. I'm not 100%. My stomach's still a little bit, but like not just. Yeah. How's that for medically specific information? Time High and Listen. Better put the wine down, girl. They are great. Look, I liked Listen a lot when I watched it the first time. It has gone down in my estimation over time. And Time Heist was fine. There's nothing wrong with Time Heist. Just don't think it's great. Can we see your peaked cap? Oh, God, I have to get over there. Sure, what the heck. Give me 1 second. Oi! Enjoy the shelf. Ah! So, yeah. Thrilling, I know. I'm not going to put it on because, like, I took a shower just before starting this, so my hair's wet, and I'd prefer not to have hat hair when I wake up in the morning, if I can help it. Why drink water out of a wine bottle? Because it holds a heck of a lot more water than just a cup or a glass. So, like, where I am shooting this is not immediately accessible to drinkable water. I would have to go all the way downstairs. So this is just this is what I use at home instead of like a refillable plastic bottle or whatever. So that's why. Plus also I like the bottles. It's a cool bottle. I like it. Would you ever consider reading Homestuck? I don't know enough about it. I do know that it's like super dense, so probably not. What episode actually terrified you? I mean, proper scare. Honestly, The Empty Child really did freak me out. Initially, the way it's filmed, conceptually, I found The Empty Child to be pretty scary. And you know what also occurred to me when I got up to get the hat? You guys see my pajama pants, so you're welcome? I don't know. What's your favorite Doctor Who fan art? I don't indulge in a ton of fan art. Like I see it every now and then. I usually like it, but I don't like know the artists or things like that. So I couldn't tell you. It sounds like you could do with a mini fridge. I don't have space in here for a mini fridge. Are you in an attic? Are there ghosts? No and yes. I used to shoot in the attic. If you go back to, not all of them, but some of the later green screen ones, those were actually shot in the attic. Which is why the sound is so terrible on them, because the acoustics up there sucked. That wasn't the reason I stopped shooting up there, though. The reason I stopped shooting up there is because we get cluster flies up there. And if you're not in New England, you might not know what they are, but they're just these big, fat, black house flies. They don't bite or anything, but they are super loud. just bzzz. Oh God, I couldn't deal with them anymore. So that's why I started the setup down here. Have you read Lock and Key? I have not. Buffy or Angel? Depends on what aspect. I thought Angel ended better and like had a stronger overall trajectory as a show, whereas Buffy was a little bit more up and down as it went along. So like I could answer either one, but for different reasons. What would be the worst Doctor outfit combination? I think Eccleston would look horrible in Jodie's outfit. I think anybody in Colin Baker's outfit, including Colin Baker. I don't know how you can realistically make an argument for it. Although honestly, Jodie and Troughton's outfit, that'd be rough. Will you ever read Doctor Who fan fiction or write some? Probably not, and definitely not. Fan fiction has never really been my bag because I'm a nitpicker. And like I remember trying to read fan fiction like in college and getting really ticked off whenever a detail was wrong. Like sometimes big stuff, sometimes just tiny things. It'd be like no. So like I couldn't enjoy reading them, and I definitely won't write it because I would like to spend my time when I write to write something that I could feasibly like publish for sale. You know, I know you can publish fan fiction on like there are websites for that or whatnot, but like it's part of my maybe possibly we'll see if it ever comes together long-term plan to try and not have to keep a full-time day job would include getting more written works out there. Because I got the book out and it wasn't a huge seller or anything, but it has been a steady drip feed of income. And it's the kind of thing where I look at it and go, you know, if I had 4 or 5 pieces out there bringing in money at the rate roughly that the book is, that would be a decent chunk of change. So what's your opinion on Forest of the Night? It's not good. It doesn't work. It's not nearly as bad as other people. Like, people put it, like, in worse lists. I don't find Forest of the Night offensively bad, but it is bad. It just kind of doesn't work. I thought Jodie looked good in Capaldi's outfit. Actually, she did. For that brief period she had it. What would you do to improve the new Doctor Who series? Oh... I mean, they need to find a reason for these companions to be traveling with the Doctor, because as I mentioned in my Series 11 video, I don't know why they're traveling with her, and I don't know why she wants them there. Aside from just this general, you know, whole, oh, fam thing is like, yeah, but why? Like, these were just the people you happen to, you know, run into right after you regenerated. Like, I can't find a better reason for them to still be latched together. Which, I mean, I suppose on the one sense, I kind of appreciate, because it means theoretically, we'll see if it happens this way, that theoretically any of the companions could leave the TARDIS without having to die or be lost in time or whatever else. So I guess, you know, making them not so attached to the Doctor means it's easier to remove them without doing something traumatic. But at the same time, it does make me go, like, why? Why are you guys together? I don't know why. That's kind of my big thing. If you redid your 10 worst New Who episodes, do you think The Runaway Bride would land on there? Probably not. I mean, I'd have to think about that, but I don't think so. Because Runaway Bride is not a very good episode at all. And it's a frustrating one for me to revisit when I did. But it just kind of tires me. It doesn't quite get me angry. Thoughts on Venom? It was fun. Hopefully the sequel gives them actually a decent story. Like, let's see. What do you prefer, Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Xena Warrior Princess? I never watched Xena, actually. I think I saw randomly 1 or 2 episodes. I do like Lucy Lawless. She's a very cool person and again has a great presence, but I never got into Xena. What would you like to see in Wonder Woman 1984? I would like to not be annoyed by Kristen Wiig. That hasn't happened for me yet. I would like to not be irritated by her. That's kind of my only request right now. Hellbent, yes. If I ever redid my 10 worst episodes of New Who, yes, Hellbent would absolutely be on there. Was Torchwood good? Should I watch it? I don't know how to answer that. Torchwood could be good. Aside from Children of Earth, which was effectively the 3rd series, it was never consistently good. So I approached Torchwood with caution. Runaway Bride or Arachnids in the UK? I would watch Runaway Bride before I would rewatch Arachnids in the UK. Because as much as there's a lot of stuff in Runaway Bride that I don't like, there is at least some stuff that I do. I really got nothing for Arachnids in the UK. Do you like how they first introduced the Dalek into the New Who era? Oh, you mean like back in Eccleston's run? Yeah, that was really well done. That was a great episode. May the name Dr. Donna live forever. Will you ever visit the UK again? I have no idea. I would love to. I have no plans to. I can't afford to. But I would love to. I would love to visit the UK again. But I have absolutely no plans to do so as of right now. Have you seen Star Trek the original series? Bits and pieces. When I was a kid, I kind of grew up on Next Generation, so I had a really hard time getting over the production values of the original, which was also part of why I couldn't get into Doctor Who when I was younger, because like I had a friend who was had a PBS household, so I did see, I think it was a part of a 5th Doctor something or other at some point, and couldn't get into it because of how wonky the effects were. So like I could probably appreciate original Trek better now, but I don't know. I don't feel a pull to do that. Would Arachnids in the UK be on your 10 worst? I don't know, man. You seem to want me to like spontaneously generate a 10 worst for you over the course of live stream. I'm not gonna do it. I don't know. Are there any companions you want to come back in Jodie's run? I think bringing back Captain Jack would be good. I have mixed feelings about the idea of bringing River back because I feel like we needed to be done with River, but at the same time I do enjoy her, and I kind of would like to see her bounce off of Whittaker. And I suppose the other one that, oh God, I had it and I lost it. No, it's gone. There was one that occurred to me, like to bring back, but and it wasn't like one of the main companions. Now I've lost it. If I'm lucky, within the next, how much time we got? Couple of minutes, it'll come to me and I'll just end up shouting it out. What about Martha? Look, Martha is a kind of a short-changed companion. She deserved better than she got, but I don't. Given that I didn't especially love the times that they did bring her back already, I kind of am not overly eager for them to do it again. Oh, Ace. Okay, yeah, if you're going back to classic era, yes, please bring back Ace. Absolutely do that. Do you think Arachnids in the UK was a modern remake of The Green Death? And what classic story would you like to see modernized? I haven't seen The Green Death, so I couldn't tell you. From what I understand of it, maybe. And I don't... Maybe Claws of Axos. because that was some cool ideas with some really wonky effects. That might be something worth revisiting. Do you think Jodie's Doctor suffers from being too team-oriented? A little bit. There's just too many people in the TARDIS right now, so we haven't really gotten to know any of them particularly well. Oh! I just remember what it was. I would like to see Whittaker encounter not Rose, but the bad wolf entity that Billie Piper played. I don't know how you justify it. I don't care how you justify it. I would like to see that. I really liked Billie Piper as sort of the bad wolf entity. I loved that a lot. And that I would like to see brought back in some fashion. Would you like Amy or Bill more? Well, the thing is, both of them had pretty definitive sign-offs, so I just worry that however you would have to bring them back would cheapen them. Between the two, I would say Bill, because I was left, you know, I didn't get enough of Bill for my taste, but that's me. I'm nervous for your Daleks in Manhattan review because I really like it. Oh, boy. You have good reason to be nervous. Let's just go with that. Bit of a weird question. Do you think the Doctor could ever be a teenager? Do you think it could be good? No. And it's because I don't have faith that they could find a teenage actor to bring the vibe and the feel and the sense of age to the part. I'm not saying that no such actor exists, but I don't trust them to find it. So, like, a teenage Doctor is the kind of thing that, like, if they ever wanted to explore, like, I don't know, in the comics, in a novel, like, have something like the War Doctor. It was a, you know, a regeneration that we didn't really get in the show very much or at all. If they wanted to do that there, that's fine. But for the show, I just don't think that you'd get somebody who could sell it. I mean, it's not impossible, but I wouldn't have faith in that. Okay, I think I do need to wrap it up. It's been about an hour, and I should attempt to eat some dinner. See how well that goes. What about number 5 from Umbrella Academy as the Doctor? Okay, interesting pick. I don't believe he is from the UK. I believe he is American, and I do have a hard no Americans rule. But, you know, he does pretty well with that vibe. I still worry about centering, you know, centering a whole series around him, knowing what the Doctor can be and has been in the past. I just think it's something that's gonna, even if it's good, it's going to feel very, very gimmicky, in a way that I don't think the gender swap or doing a non-white race or anything like that actually would be. And that is it. I am done. So, thank you all for tuning in. And yeah, I was trying to think, do I have anything else to say? I really don't. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for talking. I do enjoy this, and I'm really glad that I've been able to keep it up. Next week's will be 9 p.m. I'm not going to switch it on you next time, because next week is the one that was always supposed to be 9 p.m. It's later on down the line that the schedule gets thrown off. But we'll deal with that when we get there. So that'll be it for tonight, folks. So I hope everybody has